Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? I hope everybody is well today. Tuesday afternoon. I was going to say Thursday, but it's only Tuesday evening, rather, 7:30 p.m. Spain mainland time. And the reason I say afternoon is because here in Spain, the tarde goes on for a long time. They don't have the concept of evening as we do in English-speaking countries. So that's the reason for that slip of the tongue. Now, what do we got going on here? Babs coming in from Wales. Hello, Babs. Hope all is well there today. Mugga coming in from El Campello, I think, Mugga. Hope all is well there down there too. Alan coming in from San Diego. Not back in Spain yet, Alan. Hope it's not too far away, that trip back. And Tony coming in from a sunny Gran Alicante. All right, good. Now, the objective today, as you guys know, is to go through some of the stories that have caught my attention today in the Spanish press. Plenty of news around today, especially when it comes to the government throwing around the cash that they have obviously saved up, and also a few comments from recent videos as well we'll have a look at. So let's get straight into it. And also in the chat section, I'll go through some of the chat section comments and see if there are any interesting comments there, as well as saying hello to a few people out there as well. Now, I'll just put the like icon, on the screen today, which is this one here. I've changed it because somebody said that red maybe puts people off, so it's a blue icon today. So hit that like button in the just below the video, and let's see if we can get up to around 50 likes by the time I come back today. All right, good. Now, what's going on here? First piece of news that we will have a look at today, this one here. The government will raise pensions by 8.5% in the midst of an economic slowdown. So this is what I mentioned before about the government splashing cash around at the moment. 8.5% increase to pensions. The government will raise pensions by around 8.5%. This has been announced by the Minister of Finance, Maria Jesus Montero, and it will be done in the midst of an economic slowdown, with the labour market showing signs of cooling and the deficit still at very high levels. The increase will be based on the average year-on-year CPI for November, and the forecast is for 8.5%. It may finally be 8.4% or 8.6%, but the item in the 2023 budget registers an increase of 11.5%, so there is margin, Montero explained at the press conference following the Council of Ministers in which the public accounts were approved. So there we go, good news for Spanish pensioners with a around, more or less, roughly 8.5% increase, according to the Treasury Minister, I think, Ms. Montero. Yeah, the Minister of Finance, Ms. Montero. So a bit of a boost there, which means that the top pensions in Spain that are around 2,600 euros a month will be pushed up, around 240, 230 euros a month. So quite a bit of an increase there for pensions, especially the top pensions. The rest, if you have a look at the average pension, around 1,200 euros, I would say, then just under a 10% increase there, around 110 euros a month. Don't quote my mathematics, please. All right, good. Now, what's going on in the chat section here? Plenty of activity already. Let's see if I can go through some of them. Canadian World War II historian coming in from Dartford in Kent. Hello, Canadian World War II historian. Mark Chavez coming in from Seville. Mother-in-law is over. Could you give Pauline a shout? Many thanks. Hello, Pauline. Hope all is well. Hope you are enjoying your time down there in Seville. Hopefully it's not too hot with the San Miguel summer that we're currently going through at the moment. 31 or 32 degrees here in Madrid today. Quite hot, considering that temperatures had dropped off a fair bit in recent times, but back up into the early 30s today, and I imagine more in Seville. We've got Adam coming in from New York City. Hello, Adam. Hope all is well in the Big Apple, or the Gran Manzana, as they say in Spanish. Alan coming in. Good evening, Estuardo. Using my Spanish name is Alan. Hello, Alan. Hope you are well. Renee coming in from Texas. Hello, Renee. Hope all is well there too. Now, I'll get back into the chat section in a minute. I'll have a look at the second piece of news, which is on the agenda here, and it's this one about the inflation on weekly meals. Lentil dishes are 18% more expensive than a year ago, and a Spanish omelette is a third more expensive to make. Inflation has pushed up food prices, and the cost for families to cook weekly meals has risen significantly. Making a potato omelette, for example, costs 30% more, lentils for two people 18.6% more, a paella 13% more, and a stew, cocido, almost 14% more. These are just a few examples of dishes that are cooked in any home here in Spain and which cost more to make due to the high cost of all the ingredients. In El Mundo, we have selected 7 dishes, one for each day of the week. Basic recipes have been prepared with the main ingredients and the total price has been calculated according to the qualities. Let's have a look at a couple of the dishes that El Mundo has highlighted here. The first one being Tortilla De Patatas, probably the favorite dish of Spaniards, tortilla. Haven't met a person in this country yet that does not go crazy for tortilla, with or without onion, of course. That's the debate. And we can see the ingredients here. Olive oil, which has increased the most, 52.6% difference on last year. Potatoes are up 5.10%. Eggs are up 47%. And onions are up 23.6%. But of course, as we know, when it comes to the tortilla de patatas con cebolla or sin cebolla, I prefer with con, but a lot of people don't like onion in their tortilla. But for me, it's an absolute must. So as we can see here, total increase of 30.20% compared to last year. So last year it would have cost $1.49 to make a tortilla de patatas at home. This year, €1.93. Second dish, lentejas, lentils, Spanish lentils, of course. Lentejas, chorizo, olive oil, zanahoria, onion, of course. And we can see here the lentils are up 33.57%. Not to mention the price of olive oil as well, which we saw before has gone up quite a bit. Carrots are up 9.09%, and chorizo, well, up slightly, 0.87% on last year. So around €1.92 to make lentejas for two people here in Spain, whereas last year, €1.62. So that's what we're dealing with at the moment. But again, as we know, the same everywhere. And that's only highlighting the increases in food, not the increases in electricity, because it costs you more to turn on the cooker, costs you more to turn on the stove nowadays, microwave, all of those home appliances, of course, chewing up more energy, or more expensive energy than last year. So that's also added to the equation there. All right, now we're up to 114 likes. I'll just put that little new like icon back on the screen. So if you haven't hit that like button, please do so just below. And if you like lentejas, the Spanish lentejas, of course, which normally have a piece of chorizo, maybe some morcilla in there as well. Very tasty dish. In fact, I've got some in the fridge that my mother-in-law gave us the other day. So I might tuck into those for lunch tomorrow if I'm lucky. But I do enjoy a good plate of Spanish lentils. All right, back into the chat section here. Ren coming in from Texas. Renee, hello Renee, hope all is well there. What else we got going on here? Eric coming in from the UK. Hello Eric, hope all is well in the UK as well. They're in London. What else we got going on here? Jan coming in from London also. Spanish weekend Lidl this week. Tapas for lunch tomorrow. Funny enough, Jan, here in Spain, obviously, we don't have a Spanish week at Lidl, but it's Italian week at Lidl this week at my local Lidl store. So Italian week here in Spain, Spanish week in the UK when it comes to Lidl. Elaine coming in from New Jersey, jealous of the veranillo. Only 10 degrees there and rain for the last 3 days. The effects of Hurricane Ian, of course. Yeah, we are going through the veranillo, the San Miguel little summer, if you like. And as I said before, around 31, 32 degrees today. Quite unseasonably hot, but as we know, we do get some good weather normally around San Miguel, which was last Thursday, I believe. I think Miguel pointed that out the other day, the 29th of September. But this year in the early 30s, here in Madrid at least. So not complaining, because the weather's going to change soon. Don't know when, but soon it will change. All right, Gloria coming in from LA, California. Hello, Gloria. Hope all is well too there with you. And Rusty coming in from Georgia, southern USA. Enjoyed the Menú del Día show. Please do more. The plan is to do more, Rusty. The problem, as I mentioned the other day, is logistics, tying it all together, finding a place that has a decent menu, also getting Dave on board, which he sent me a text yesterday saying that he is available this week. So maybe Thursday. We'll see if we can get it. Maybe just do a local one in my local area. I'll go to a place that normally has a good menu, but a little bit more expensive. But the quality of the food, top notch, Rusty. So stay tuned for that one. All right, next piece of news. Let me have a look here at the next slide. This one here. The government will extend free travel on Cercanías and Media Distancia trains to the whole of 2023. The government will extend the free travel passes for Renfe's Cercanías, Rodalies and Media Distancia services, which were launched on the 1st of September and were valid until the 31st of December to the whole of 2023. This was announced this Tuesday by the Minister of Finance, again, Maria Jesus Montero, at the press conference to present the General State Budget. To this end, the Treasury will allocate 700 million euros to finance the cost of the passes. The government introduced this measure to mitigate the effects of inflation, which are eroding people's incomes. The idea was that it would only be enforced for the last 3 months of this year, but the success of the subscriptions has led the government to extend it for the whole of next year. The cost of the measure during the months of 2022 in which it has been in force has been 200 million euros. So the government again splashing out more cash and announcing an extension to that free travel on Cercanías, medium distance trains, and also Rodalies, which is the Cercanías, I believe, in Catalonia. So good news there for commuters, especially because, of course, that's who that plan is for. People that commute regularly here in Spain, that catch those Cercanías trains from cities just outside big cities like Madrid, maybe in Alcalá de Henares, like Johnny, for example. We don't have Cercanías here, we have Metro, but a lot of the small towns around the big cities have a Cercanías, which brings people in and takes people back when they finish work. So in Spain they call them ciudades dormitorias, I think, or dormitorios, I think is the word, where people sleep and then they work in the cities. Well, they spend the weekends there as well, of course, but lots of cities around Madrid classified that, and all connected with the Cercanías. So good news there for regular commuters on transport here in Spain. All right, what else we got going? Tobias, still in Jerez, but feeling better, getting over COVID and ready to go home. Taking back that COVID experience as a souvenir, Tobias. So good to see you are well again. Ken's in the chat. Hello, Ken. Saying hello to everybody. Hello back to you there, Ken. Hope all is well. Adam coming in. How do they plan to pay for all this? Good question. Well, obviously, there's a lot of money coming in because of the high inflation at the moment and all of the extra VAT. So I imagine that's how they're planning on paying for it. But remember that next year is an election year. And, of course, Spanish government loves to splash around the cash when there are elections or just around the corner, which is obviously what they are doing, hoping that these measures will get them votes, because things are not looking good for Mr. Sanchez and company. Mr. Feijóo, the opposition leader of the PP, his popularity is rising, and Mr. Sanchez's popularity is going down. Maybe this will turn the tide for the Socialist Party. Time will tell, but that's what they're doing. What else we got going on? Tim coming in from Bromley, South London. Hope all is well there, Tim, today. Hope the weather's good. Angela coming in, saying hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, Angela. What else we got going on here? Jose Antonio coming in as well. Hello to everybody out there. Hello, Jose Antonio. And Stephen coming in from Manilva, still in Spain. Back to Wales on the 12th. Happy to be in the live show tonight. Cheers. having a drop of the usual vino while watching the show. The same vino, Steve? Let us know. I think the last one you said you got from Mercadona. Let us know if you're drinking the same drop or if it's a different one. Or if you want us to recommend one, Steve, let us know. We will recommend a good wine for you. Let us know what your budget is. If it's over 10 euros or under 10 euros, I'm normally around the 8 or 9 euro mark. Get a fairly decent bottle for that amount. But let us know what your budget is, Steve, and we'll put point some wines in your direction. Now we're up to 78 likes. I'll put the little like icon back on the screen. So if you haven't hit that, please do so just below the video there. So hit that like button if you have not done so yet. All right, next piece of news today. This one here. Some bad news. We just saw some positive news. Now some bad news. 27.7% of young Spaniards have only basic education, double the OECD average. 27.7% of young Spaniards aged between 25 and 34 had only basic education without reaching the baccalaureate or its equivalent in vocational training in 2021. Double the average of the countries in the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, which is 14.1%, while the average in the countries of the European Union is 11.8%, according to the report in Spanish Education Panorama OECD Indicators 2022 that was presented yesterday, Monday. However, although the figure is not good, it represents a significant improvement compared to 2011, when this percentage stood at 34.6%, almost 7 points difference. The remaining 23.6% have upper secondary education, below the OECD average, 39.4, and EU average, 42.3. In contrast, almost half of Spaniards between the ages of 25 and 34 have a higher education qualification. So interesting. You've got 50% of Spaniards between 25 and 34 have a university degree, and then you've got 27% don't have even basic high school studies. They just finished the what they call here the ESO, the Escuela Secundaria Obligatoria. Well, I think you have to be 15 or 16, so they finished that. They don't go into vocational training. They're what's known as the ni-nis. They don't study, they don't work. Well, I imagine that they're working now because you've got no choice when you get to the age of 25. But that's the level. So if you've got 50% with higher education, 27% that have basic education, and 23%, as we saw there, the remaining 23 that do finish high school. So interesting figures there, but as we saw, the OECD average 14.1, European Union 11.8, but Spain 27.7% of people drop out of school when they are 15 or 16 years of age. Interesting. So let's just hope that young people that I know, my son primarily doesn't go down that path, and he can get past that 15 or 16 year mark and go into some type of training perhaps, or of course university if he's good enough. Time will tell. Now back in, the devil has arrived into the chat, the Diablo, the Spanish devil, Diablo España in the chat. Hello, hope you are well. Yogi coming in from London, Yogi. I haven't had a London forecast weather update today, so let us know, Yogi, what the temperature's like there. Yogi asking if there's any any news on the digital nomad visa. No, the answer is Yogi. It was announced it made the press a couple of weeks ago. So I imagine that something is there in the pipeline ready to be announced, because of course those things leak to the press. But nothing formal has been announced, Yogi. So I imagine it's just a matter of time. But then again, I said that about British driver's license exchanges, and I think people are still waiting for that. So let's not hold our breath, Yogi. But I'm optimistic. Beautiful life. Kina coming in from Lastres, Asturias, moved from Orlando, Florida, in time to miss the big hurricane last week. Yeah, lucky to get out of Florida there, Kina, because as we saw, a lot of destruction in Florida. Unfortunately, around 90 people losing their lives as well. But the damage incredible in some parts of Florida there. Rob saying that prices will fall in 2024. Hopefully, Rob. Hopefully they will fall in 2024. Sari coming in from Tampa, Florida. Another person or couple here from Florida, Sarah and Bill. We weren't affected by Hurricane Ian. Gracias a Dios. Keep up your excellent work and wash your hands, says Sara. Absolutely, Sara. And good to see that you guys also were not affected by the hurricane there. So obviously it depends on where you were in the state of Florida, which, as we know, is a big state. So I think there were some parts, obviously, that were completely destroyed, and places like Tampa here that weren't really affected at all. So luckily, it depends on where you are. Thank you very much for that. And Jose Antonio, comida de viejas. What's that? Lentejas? Comida de viejas? Don't tell me you haven't eaten it in your time, Jose Antonio, please. I imagine it's a weekly meal for the majority of Spaniards here. At least once a week in the winter months. Lentejas, comida de viejas. All right, what else we got going on? Ivan coming in. A bit late today because of the tube in London. Has no mobile service in 2022. The good news, Ivan, is that in Madrid, the mobile service on the metro has improved greatly over the last few years, and you basically have service everywhere you go on the metro in Madrid nowadays. So completely different there. All right, what else are we going on with news? Word of the day time, word of the day. Now, before I start the word of the day, I'm just going to change the backdrop. We'll have a look at this one here from Tony, who's in the chat section. He sent this one in here, Tony. Apparently, it's the Alicante harbour down there. I'm in the middle as well, so I'll just get out of the way so you guys can see that a little bit better. There we go. So thank you very much, Tony, for sending in that nice pic of the Alicante harbour down there. I think it's Alicante City. Can't remember if that's what you said, but I imagine it is. Thank you very much for that, Tony. Now, the word of the day, forrado. Forrado. You have to get the old R, the two R's working if you want to pronounce this word correctly, meaning that you are loaded with cash. It's a bit informal, a bit slangy, but you'll hear it a lot in this part of Spain, and I'm sure in every part of Spain. For example, mira el coche que tiene ese. Tiene que estar forrado de pasta. Forrado, meaning that your coat jacket is lined with cash, but basically meaning that you are absolutely loaded, which is what's going on with the government here at the moment. Apparently, they are absolutely forrado de pasta. Forrao. So that's the word of the day, loaded with cash. Now, if you've got a word of the day that you would like me to highlight here, please let me know. spainspeaks@gmail.com. Send me your word of the day, and along with your pictures as well, to the same email address, spainspeaks@gmail.com. And like Tony has done with this one here in the background, very picturesque harbour view, I'll put it up on the backdrop. All right, what are we going on here? Machon saying that Messi is coming back to Barcelona. Really? Only just broke a couple of weeks ago that Messi virtually broke the Barcelona Football Club with his demands. I read in the press here recently, so he's coming back. Interesting if that is the case. But I'm sure Barcelona fans will be happy about that. All right, what else we got going on? Stephen asking a question here. I've heard from a neighbour that the government have put an extra tax on the electric bill. Is this true? Don't know, Stephen. The only thing I've heard is that the Spanish government has lowered VAT on electricity bills. I wouldn't be surprised if there's been another tax whacked on there somewhere, but I haven't heard it. But I'm sure people in the chat section will let us know if that is the case, Stephen, if the government has put another tax on that. But as I said, the only thing that I've heard is that VAT has been lowered to 5% on electricity and gas. Gas started recently, electricity started before the summer. So not sure, but I'm sure somebody will let us know if that is the case. All right, we've got Miguel and Sarita coming in from Dubai. They're in the United Arab Emirates. Hi guys, hope you are well. What else we got going on? Alan saying that whitefish prices high in the UK. Russia supplied 45% of world market, ? And there we go. Not sure about that here in Spain, whether Russia supplies whitefish. Not sure about that. What else? Makish don't have the tortillas at Lidl in the UK. They are awful. So a piece of advice there from Makish, recommending not to eat the tortillas, the Spanish omelettes at the Lidl in the UK. Pretty easy to make yourself, Makish. All you need is olive oil, potatoes, and eggs, salt, and of course onions, if you like onions in your tortilla, which, as I said before, for me is an absolute must. All right, what else we got going on? Jan is looking forward to the 6 o'clock sunset in November in Malaga. Hope the weather is fine. So you're obviously heading there in November, Jan. Hope all goes well with that trip. Now, I'll just put the little like icon back on the screen because we're almost up to 97. We're almost up to 100, so I'll just put it on there. If you haven't hit the like icon yet, please do so just below the video, please. We'll have a look at one or two more chats. David coming in from California, hoping that we have a great evening. Thank you very much, David. I hope you have a great day there in California. And what else we got going on? Bill also loved the Menú del Día. 11 euros will be hard to beat. I imagine so. I reckon that we could probably get more meals for around that price, maybe 10, 11, 12, but the quality is going to be the key, I think, because the prices have gone up with some menus. And if you want a decent menu, around 13, 14. Somebody sent me an email today or left in a comment telling me about a place in Murcia. And I checked it out, and the menu down there is 14 euros. But they had about 6 things, 6 firsts and 6 seconds. So a fair bit to choose from, but 14 euros for a menu. And as I said, if I go to a restaurant this week, around $13.90, I think you pay at this one. But as I said, the quality quite good. So hopefully I'll be able to get out and about and do another menu video this week. All right, good. Comment. Let's have a look at the first one here. We saw that one. That's the word of the day. This one here from Dave. As far as I know, Stuart, Kevin Peterson's mother was British and he got a passport through her by descent. No different from Mac Hansen, Australian born and bred, now playing rugby for Ireland, as his mother is from Cork, and therefore he is entitled to an Irish passport. Whether either of the two would identify as English-Irish, maybe not. Yeah, this was a debate that I had with Johnny the other day because we spoke about a basketball player called Lorenzo Brown, who was naturalized very, very quickly indeed, Spanish, from the United States originally, has never been to Spain as far as I know, maybe only to get his passport and his new documents. Never played basketball in Spain, don't think, as I said, ever been to the country, but he got an express citizenship pass through because the coach of the Spanish basketball side needed a point guard, and the only one that they could find was Lorenzo Brown. So he was naturalized, I think is the word, given the citizenship, express, and of course he was the determining player in the recent European Championships, which Spain won when they beat France. And I said that lots of countries do the same thing. The United Kingdom during the London Olympics went out and gave citizenships to a few athletes that have probably never been to the UK before. Australia's done it. United States has done it. I think every country in the world has done it. So I wasn't so much criticizing that. But the fact that the guy had never stepped on Spanish soil before was a little bit surprising. And I don't know whether it was within the rules. Don't you have to play in the qualifying games or something like that? Don't know. But apparently nobody complained, and Spain's title exists still. So, yeah, I understand that every country does it. And, of course, I use the example of Kevin Peterson. And his mother might have been British, or she might have had a British passport. Whether she was born in the UK or not, don't know. Because, as we know, a lot of people that are born in South Africa or are born in Australia have British passports because of their parents. But Kevin obviously was snapped up by the England Cricket Council, or whatever they're called, the ECB, the England Cricket Board, and played for England, as we know, and not for South Africa. All right, good. Next one. What else we got going on here? City fan is in. All right, good. Also questioning how the government is going to pay for this. Again, no idea, but I imagine it's the windfall that they have at the moment and all of those extra taxes that they put on electric companies and banks, and also the increase in VAT, meaning that the government is flush with cash at the moment, City fans. So I imagine that's it. Isabel complaining that there's no garbanzos in large jars at Lidl Spanish this week, and I was looking forward to stocking up, especially if you like to make a cocido, Isabel, or a garbanzo salad. Chickpea, of course. I think in some English-speaking countries we say garbanzo, maybe in the United States, but chickpea, I think in Australia we say. So unfortunately, there Isabel, not available this week in the UK. Don't know what's going on. All right, what else we got going on? Welsh Toto is here. Hello, hope all is well there. And plenty of activity in the chat section. All right, good. And Isabel saying that she really does like the updates and looks forward to the next Menú del Dia. So I'll definitely have to do one, Isabel. 3 people already have said that they enjoyed the video. Thank you very much. Now, the next comment from the other day is this one here from Demetrius. Solidarity tax? LOL. Who do they think they're fooling with these BS semantics? Another reason not to move to Spain. A little bit critical there, Demetrius, but it is exactly what he says there. BS semantics from the government, the wealth tax that they put on 0.1% of the population, people with huge fortunes. And they're calling it a solidarity tax because people have to show solidarity with the rest of the population who are doing it tough, and that's what the government has called it, a solidarity tax. But unfortunately, a lot of wealthy individuals don't see the need for solidarity, and as we also saw yesterday, they're moving to countries like Portugal, or they move to countries like Andorra, or they move to countries like the Netherlands, or they move to countries like Luxembourg, where they pay less tax, basically. And Portugal, of course, because it's close. They don't really move there. They just set up their residence there. They spend most of their time in Spain, of course, because you can just cross the border without anybody knowing. But legally, they are tax residents in that country where they pay a flat rate on their earnings. And as we saw yesterday, the Portuguese Prime Minister is looking to attract that type of individual. They're looking to attract companies. They're looking to attract wealthy individuals by offering them attractive tax rates, which is the opposite here in Spain. Spain is increasing taxes. Portugal is lowering taxes. So we'll see who has we'll see who's more successful, Spain or Portugal. And they're both socialist governments. Costa is a socialist. Sanchez is a socialist, but 2 completely different ways of dealing with taxes. And I think it's got something to do with the fact that Portugal was intervened back in the day, and maybe they have a series of things that they need to comply to, or they've been told by the European Union what they need to do to attract this type of thing, to stimulate business and things like that. I imagine that's what's gone on in Portugal, because they have been quite aggressive in this sense over the last few years, trying to get people to move there that have money, retirees, for example, and offering people more attractive tax advantages than Spain. So we'll see what happens, whether Spain's philosophy works or whether Portugal's philosophy works in the long run. Time will tell. But as I just mentioned, a lot of countries in the European Union have a more attractive tax rate than Spain. So what else we got going on here? Let's see. Matt asking the question. Because inflation is higher than pensioners' raises, they will actually be getting a pay cut. Well, we're all taking a haircut or a pay cut at the moment, Matt, but you're probably right. Thanks for pointing that one out there. What else is going on here? The UK government is really silly electing an alcoholic. Not sure if that's the case, City fan, but thanks for the comment anyway. What else we got going on? Eileen asking the question if I'm feeling better today. I am, Eileen. My frog has moved on. It's still got a little bit of a tickle in the back of the throat, but it's not as bad as it was on Sunday. And wondering what Lidl's Irish week is like. They have an Irish week? Here in Spain, we only get an Indian week, we get an Italian week, I think we get a Greek week, I think that's about it. Maybe a couple of others. Maybe there's like a Moroccan week as well. But I haven't seen an Irish week at the local Lidl. All right, next one. Roland, going to Barcelona soon. Anything I should worry about? Yeah, Barcelona and Catalonia getting some negative press recently, mainly because of some riots and disturbances that took place after local neighborhood festivals there. But I don't think there's anything to be worried about in Barcelona. Ronald, just be on the lookout for pickpockets. Don't walk around with a fancy watch on your wrist. Don't walk around with an expensive telephone in your hand, because somebody most likely will try to pinch it. But just the normal street smarts, basically, and everything should be all right. Just stay out of neighborhoods that look a bit dodgy. Go to the main tourist areas, but again, keep your street smarts about you. Don't have a backpack on your back. Sort of carry it on your side where you can control it. Don't, as I said before, when it comes to jewelry, expensive jewelry, don't wear it around your neck and things like that. Just things that you would do in any European city, basically, to avoid them getting stolen. That would be my recommendation. But enjoy your time in Barcelona, a fantastic city. All right, 116 likes. I'll put the little like icon back on the screen again. Whoop, wrong one. This one here. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do so just below. And we'll see if we can get up to today for around 130, 140 maybe. We're up to the 36-minute mark, so only a few more minutes to go. Again, I've messed up with the button. All right, good. What else we got going on here? Let's see. We've got Joel Bombero coming in. Ola. Sue coming in from Estepona. Likes to watch the live chats. Thank you very much, Sue. Hope you're glad to see that you enjoy them. What else we got going on here? Welsh Toto saying that Spanish school figures have been terrible since I can remember. High school dropout rates and poor problem-solving skills according to the UN. Doesn't seem to improve, Welsh Toto. I'm not sure what the problem is when it comes to education in this country. I would say that it's too politicised. Too many politicians sticking their beaks into the education system, and not concentrating on what needs to be done. And for some kids, it's just too difficult. That's why they drop out. They don't get the support they need in their younger years at school. They don't get that academic support, or at least they didn't in the past. Might have changed. Some people tell me that it has. I think it depends on the school. And basically, if you're not a good student, it's very easy to get lost in the system, unfortunately. There's nobody taking care of those students that might have learning difficulties. I can tell you an example of a couple that I know who have two children who are dyslexic, and the dyslexia wasn't discovered until they were probably 10 or 11 years old. Actually, a little bit before, maybe when they were 7 or 8, but it wasn't something that was picked up when they were 5 or 6. They realized that something was wrong when they were at pre-primary school, but nobody could put their finger on it, and basically they went through 3 or 4 more years without the dyslexia being discovered. And the kids are behind the 8 ball, basically. They've gone to a school now where they do get support, but they've had to ask for it. But there are a lot of other kids with learning difficulties that just get pushed through the system. They repeat years. I remember when my son went to the local public school over the road, there were kids in 3rd and 4th grade that were repeating. So it's a common thing. They repeat and then they just get lost and they just get turned off school, basically, and I think that's why they drop out. Don't know whether it's changing, but hopefully it is. That's just my experience with the education system. All right, what else we got going on here? Let's see if we can find something out. What else we got going on? Let's have a look here quickly. Oh, here we go. We've got a London weather update, 16 degrees. Now I'm going to change the backdrop, put another one up. Let's see if I can find it here. This one was sent in from Lorenzo, and it's a picture of Benalmádena down there in Malaga. Again, I'll just get out of the way so you can see the statue. Actually, this way. A guy there looks like a waiter with a bottle of wine and a couple of glasses. Going to a table, obviously, and that is Benalmádena down there in Malaga on the coast. And again, we can see the mountains there in the background. So thank you very much, Lorenzo, for that picture. What else we got going on? Let's have a look. Let's see if we can find somebody here that has an interesting thing to say. Yes, I have your email address, CityFan. I think you sent me a message a few weeks ago. I have your email address. Yeah, are you trying to get in contact with me? Is that what the conversation's about? I'll have a look. What else we got going on? What's wrong? Have I done something wrong? Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, what else is going on here? Let's have a look. Anyway, I'll have a look at another chat. Let's see if we can have a look at another chat. One here from Outdoor Chilled. Keep calm and carry on. We will survive this crisis as well. Have a cup of tea and a pint and all will be good. The fear-mongering has no end. Bad things happen. History shows, and it will always be like that. Thanks for sharing as always, Stu. Cheers and love from Barcelona. P.S. Waiting to buy your t-shirt saying I survived the 2021 pandemic with Spain Speaks in Spanish and English, since you really were a lifeline during those dark times. Thank you very much for those kind words there, Outdoor Chilled, and hope all is well in Barcelona. And let's hope that we do all get through this. As we can see here, the fear-mongering has no end, according to Outdoor Chilled. And it has been a bad time. I mean, let's be honest, we've gone from a pandemic into the high inflation, recession. So it hasn't been bad news recently, but as Outdoor Chilled says here, keep calm and carry on. And I think that's some fairly good advice. So I'm going to start to wrap the live stream up there. We've gone for 41 minutes. Thank you very much for your participation today. Hope everybody enjoyed the live stream. Thank you very much for participating in the chat. Don't forget to send those pictures in, spainspeaks@gmail.com. And also, if you have a word of the day that you would like me to highlight, Spanish word of the day, please do so at that same email address. Hasta luego, hasta entonces. I'll see you on Thursday at the same time.